Eli, Ase ya Eli, Le'avedach ya Eli, Nes ya Eli, Ase ya Eli, Le'avedach ya Eli.
זכני ומעווני תטהרני אנא לי חמה במחולמה את מחלתי רפאיה אלי אנא לי ברוחי מעשיך וליבי יחיה בתורתך אנא לי ברוחי מעשיך וליבי יחיה בתורתך נס יא אלי עשה יא אלי לעבדך יא אלי נס יא אלי עשה יא אלי לעבדך יא אלי אלי יא אלי חוד עלי יא אלי יא אלי אלי יא אלי חוד עלי יא אלי יא אלי ליבי יפשק לביתך אלי ליבי יפשק לביתך אלי נס יא אלי עשה יא אלי לעבדך יא אלי נס יא אלי עשה יא אלי לעבדך יא אלי נפדני לחצופני תשנני ואת הצרה הפקיד בידך רוחי ונשמתי בזכות אבותיי רחם עליה בחסדך היטיבה לעבדך ותאמר לצרה דיה בחסדך היטיבה לעבדך ותאמר לצרה דיה נס יא אלי עשה יא אלי לעבדך יא אלי נס יא אלי עשה יא אלי לעבדך יא אלי אלי יא אלי חוד עלי יא אלי יא אלי אלי יא אלי חוד עלי יא אלי יא אלי ליבי ישק לביתך אלי ליבי ישק לביתך אלי נס יא אלי עשה יא אלי לעבדך יא אלי נס יא אלי עשה יא אלי לעבדך יא אלי תרי איי 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 תרי איי 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 אוי איי איי תרי איי איי la
Thanks to you, ever living sovereign, that you have restored my soul to me in mercy. How great, Radha Emunateja, how great is your trust. Yesterday we spoke about the word Emunah that appears in the Torah and several times, and is usually translated as I believe or faith. Emunah is faith. In the context of Torah, when we say the word Emunah, which is also the source for the word Amen, we refer to trust. When we say Amen, we say I trust you, I believe in you. And somehow God every day says Amen to our existence. He, she, it says, I trust your existence, I trust you to become the best version of yourself. And And so we start each of our days. We turn now our Sidurim to page 192 as we enter this virtual sanctuary that we try to create. We say how beautiful is our community. Matovu Alecha Yaakov. These emblematic words that appear in this very Torah portion, Parashat Balak. These words that were meant to be a curse, and it became a blessing. They were transformed into a blessing. And as we allow Shabbat to become a part of our life experience, we ask for that transformation. We ask for the ability to transform curses into blessings. We ask for community to transform our individualism. And we ask for this Shabbat to transform our souls. אדוני אהבתי מהום ביתך ומקום משכן כבודך בני אשתחווה ואכרע אברך לפני אדוני עושי בני תפילתי היא לך אדוני אהב רצון אלוהים ברוב חסדך Turn our Sidurim to page 194 as we take a moment to acknowledge the well functioning of our bodies. We say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatzar et ha'adam b'chokhmah. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. We turn our Sidurim to page 196. It is not a coincidence that in our prayer, immediately after the blessing for the well functioning of our bodies, we recite the blessing for our souls. Two essential components that come together. Our temporary existence, our bodies, and the piece of eternity that conform our existence, our souls. And our goal is to hold the two of them together. And as long that they are together, to be grateful our lives. I invite you just to take a moment to become aware of your breath, in this divine connection between our neshima, our breath, and our neshama, our soul. Every breath is a gift. It's an opportunity to connect with our bodies, and at the same time, an opportunity to connect with the eternity of the divine presence. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praise are you, Adonai, whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. Baruch atah Adonai, asher biyado, nefesh kol chai, baruch kol basar ish. We turn our Sidurim to page 198 for Birkot HaShachar, Nisim B'chol Yom, we call them, the blessings for the daily miracles. And as we say the words of our tradition, I invite you to think about your daily miracles, those things that make your routine possible. You know, I was told once, why do we repeat these verses of these ideas all the time? And I think that an important thing to keep in mind is that life, building our lives, is an ongoing enterprise. And the ability to be grateful and the ability to recognize things is not destination, but a journey. And it's what helps us to be mindful of our journey. So you might find yourself repeating again and again the same things, and that's fantastic. They might change over the time. That's important too. But what is most important is to be able to recognize them constantly. Those gifts that we have are given to us, and we take them every day. So every day we take a moment to acknowledge them. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the ability to distinguish day from night.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malvish arumim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, הנותן ליעב כוח.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, המביא שינה מעיניי ודמומה מיף אפיים. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, שעשני בצלם
has created
אלוהים.
all human beings equal. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given me free will, שעשני בן חולים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשה לי ישראל.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, עוזר ישראל בגבורה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוטר ישראל בתפארה.
On page 204, the blessing for the study of Torah. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו לעסוק בדברי תורה. Adonai our God, let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel may know you, by studying your Torah for its own sake. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel, המלמד תורה לעמו ישראל. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, שאדם אוכל פירותיהם בעולם הזה, והקרן קיימת לו לעולם הבא. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. Return our Sidurim to page 212 for the blessing for the Psukei de Simra, in which we undertake the challenge of uplifting our souls. Baruch Shamar Baya Olam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Hoseh Bereshit, Baruch Omer Be'oseh, Baruch Poseh Umekayem, Baruch Melachem Al Haaretz, Baruch Melachem Al Habriot, Baruch Meshalem Sechar Tov Lereach, Baruch Elad Vekayem Lanetzach, Baruch Bodeh U'Mahatzil, Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo. Songs of praise to extol you and proclaim your sovereignty, for you are the source of the universe, one God, life of the universe. Praise and glorious ruler.
כי יש אדוני צורים אלוהים
אשרי יושבי ביתך. Happy are those who dwell in your house. And in order to find that joy, we need to be able to sit somewhere. We need to be able to contemplate ideas, conceptions, emotions that help us get closer to that place of Osher, of Ashrei, of joy. Ashrei, יושבי ביתך, עוד ילמדו ללוך הסלע. אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יללוך 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 הסלע. תהילת לדוד, הרוממך אלוהי המלך, יברך שמך לעולם ועד.
בכל יום אברכך ולעילת שמך לעולם ועד.
יד אדוני הוא מהולל מאוד, וגדולתו אין חקר.
דור לדור ישבח מעשיך וגבורותיך יגידו.
על כבוד עודך ודברי נפלאותיך השיחה.
מזוז מאותיך יאמרו גדולתך ספרנה.
סכר טובך יביאו וצדקתך ילננו.
חנון ורחום אדוני ערך אפיים וגדלת
טוב
חסד.
אדוני לכל ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
ידוך אדוני כל מעשיך וחסדך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו וגבולתך ידברו.
להודיע לבני אדם גבולותיו וכבוד אדם מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים ומשרותך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
בעיני כל אליך ישבנו ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו. פותח את ידיך משביע לכל חי רצון. צדיק אדוני לכל דרכיו וחסיד בכל מסעיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו ולכל אשר יקראו באמת.
ורצון ידע ויעשה בן שבתם ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו ואת כל רשעים ישמיע.
תהילת אדוני ידבר פיו ויברך טוב עשה שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם. הללויה. Page 218, Psalm 150. Hallelujah. נשמת כל חי, תתברך את שמך, אדוני אלוהינו ברוח כל בשר תפארת תתרומם, זכרך מלכנו תמיד. Transcending space and time, you alone are God. We have no sovereign besides you. God of the first and the last, God of all creatures, Master of all generations, who is praised in a multitude of praises, who guides the world with abundant loving kindness, and all creatures with mercy. And I neither slumbers nor sleeps, who awakens the sleeping, arouses those who slumber, gives speech to the mute. And God loosens the bonds of captives. God supports the fallen and strengthens those who are bent over. You alone do we acknowledge. We're on page 220. And if our mouths were full of song as the sea, and our tongues full of joy in countless waves, we could never find the words to thank you adequately, Adonai. Therefore, these limbs which you have formed in us, and this spirit and soul that you have breathed into our nostrils, this tongue which you have set in our mouths, they must acknowledge you, bless you, praise, and glorify your name, O Sovereign. שוכנת מלון בקדוש שמו, בכתוב ראינו צדיקים באדוני, לישרים נבע תהילה, בפי ישרים תתהלל, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל, ורינה יתפאר שמך מלכנו, בכל דור ודור. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, ההן המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ, כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, שינו שמך שהושבח ליל ושמרה, עוז ממשלה נצח גדולה וגבורה, תהילה ותפארת קדושה ומלכות, מלכות והודות מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול ותשבחות, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי שמרה, מלך אל חיי העולמים. page 224, חצי קדיש.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמך הבא, ועל מה דבריותם להתמלכותי, וחי יכולו ובכל
ושבחתה ונחמתה תמידה בעלמא ואמרו אמן. ידה די 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 ידה די 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 ידה די די as we enter into the call for prayer, Barhu, we take a moment to acknowledge our minyan, and this is the opportunity which we look at each other and we tell each other that you count. Besides gender, besides skin color, that you count. And as a diverse community, we can and we are ready to acknowledge the unity of God. Baruchu et Adonai, Yadadai dai dai dai, Amevorach. Baruch Adonai, Amevorach, Leolam Vaed. Ay 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 da dai, ya da dai 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 da dai, ya da dai 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 da dai, ya da dai dai dai. You maybe say dai da dai, ya da dai 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 da dai, ya da dai 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 da dai, ya da dai dai Shalom, Rektakon, Yadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadadad לארץ ולהרים עליה ברחמים ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה בראשית. In mercy you illuminate the world and those who live upon it in your goodness. You daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands and for the lights you created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praise are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch ata Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. We are at the top of page 230. Aftanu, Adonai. your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Let us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land for you, O God, work wonders. You chose us, truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה, your word talit. Invite you to gather the four corners of your talit. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. On page 234.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Page 236 in the middle. Adonai said to Moses as follows: Speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all the commandments of Adonai and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and eyes in your lustful urge. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת, אמת ויציב באהוב בחביב בנורא בדיר ביתו ביפה דבר עשה עלינו ללעם בהד אמת אלוהי עולם מלכנו צור יעקב מגן אישנו לדור ודור, הוא קיים בשמו קיים בכיסאו נחום במלכותו נאמן באמונתו לאט קיימת חיים ימים נאמנים ונחמדים לאדוני עולמים. Continue with the silent reading over page 238. לילות לילה יום, ברוך הוא מבורך, משה ומרים ובני ישראל, לך ענו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. In great joy, Moshe, Miriam and Israel responded with song to you, all of them proclaiming, who is like you, O God. We're on page 240. כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך אליו הקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך אליו הקודש, לעולם תהילות עושה פלא, לעולם תהילות עושה פלא, שירה חדשה שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק אלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומר חסדים טובים בקונה הכל וסוחר חסידי אבות באימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך חוסר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ברופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לישני יפר מי כמוך בעל גבולות ומידו מלך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ולמעלתה לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. כתוב על יד נביאך וקרא צלצל ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוא כל הארץ כבודו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לעורב בדור הללויה דור ודור נגיד גודלך ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם באר ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש ושם אמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם בני ובן בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. We continue with the silent reading of Tfilat Amidah, or alternatively you can take a moment for your personal prayer, for your Tfilah Shebalev. מודים על פרשת ואלוהינו בני אבותינו ואמותינו לעד צור חיינו ונשנו אותנו לדור ועדור נודה לך. שים שלום תבואו לך. Bless our Creator with the light of your presence, all of us, as if we were one. Shalom, praise you Adonai, who bless your people Israel with peace. Shabbat Shalom everyone, Shabbat Shalom. Trying to do some study of Torah. We'll put it aside 1 second. Can I ask you for the mouse? Thank you. So, yesterday we said that we are reading a double Torah portion this week. This week we are reading Parashat
Balak? No.
Balak is the second one. You are completely right.
Almost.
Why don't you put yourself to be seen? Get closer. So we are going to share the screen.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
take it. I'll wait. Here you go. So Parashat Balak is the second one. So what's the first one? Hukat, you're right. Now, we spoke about Hukat yesterday and we learned about the death of Miriam, the death of Aaron, and also Aaron and Moses were informed that they won't make it into the promised land. But they keep moving forward and they need to get closer to the promised land, and as they start to explore how to make it, they start to speak with kingdoms that are around them and ask them for permission, peaceful initially peaceful. Initially peaceful. Permission to pass. So there was a king that after seeing that there was another king that didn't grant them permission, and it didn't go so well, got a bit nervous. And what was the name of this king? Balak. Balak, the king, got a bit nervous, and he said, let's make sure that we do something to stop the Israelites. So he had a very interesting strategy. Initially, he didn't reach out to an army. Actually, he tried to gather a different kind of power. He tried to bring, this is too small. Let me make it everything bigger. Oh, too big. Maybe now, yes. So Balak decides to do something else. And he reaches out to a sorcerer. The name of the sorcerer is Bilam. Do you want to read here in English?
Balak, son of Zippor, who was king of Moab at the time, sent messengers to Bilam, son of Beor, in Pethor, which is by the Euphrates, in the land of his kinsfolk, to invite him, saying, there is a people that came out of Egypt. It hides the earth from view, and it is settled next to me. Come then, put a curse upon this people for me, since they are too numerous for me.
Okay, so Balak wants to stop the Israelites by having Bilam cursing them. And he says, perhaps
I can thus defeat them and drive them out of the land. For I know that he whom you bless is blessed indeed, and he whom you curse is cursed.
So Balak knows that Bilam has a very specific and important power. If he blesses you, you are blessed. And if he curses you, you will be cursed. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the story, this is one of the most emblematic stories in the entire Torah. It's 3 chapters that narrates the story of this sorcerer Bilam and this king Balak, who sends emissaries to ask for Bilam's help. And when the emissaries make it to Bilam, Bilam says, well, I don't know if I can help you. I will need to consult with God. So spend a night here, I will consult with God, and God will tell me. So they go sleep, and he asks God, and what does God say? God says, forget it. You cannot curse these people. And the reason is because they are a blessed people. In the morning, he says to the emissaries of King Balak, sorry, I cannot do this. They're a blessed people. God just told me. So they go back to Balak, and Balak sent them back to Bilam with offerings and money. What does Bilam say? Give me another night, I will ask God. So once again, he asks God, and God says no. And in the morning he says, it doesn't matter if you fill a room with money, I won't be able to do this. They go back and forth once again, until eventually they decide that he will go to Balak, and they will see what he can do. Now when he makes it to Balak, they look at the camp of the Israelites. They set the stage with 7 offerings for Bilam to make the first curse. I already told you something. There are going to be 3 attempts to curse the children of Israel. And what happens? Instead of a curse, comes out from a blessing. Bilam looks at Balak and says, I'm just saying what God is placing in my mouth. So they try it once again. They go to a different place in the camp. And what happens this time? Well, exactly the same. He tries once again to curse the people of Israel. And once again, God places a blessing in his mouth and no curses. So Balak gets a bit nervous. He said, okay, we'll try a third place. They go to a third place. And once again, Bilam opens his mouth. And once again, instead of a curse, from his mouth comes out a blessing. This time, one that we actually use in our liturgy. Matuvu Alecha Yaakov. How wonderful are your tents, your camps, Israel, Jacob. Now, all this story to ask you a very simple question. Is Bilam, is Bilam the sorcerer? Balak is the king, Bilam is the sorcerer. Is Bilam, who happens also to be a prophet, right? He can speak with God. Someone who, when he opens his mouth, has coming through divine words, in our tradition is defined as a prophet from a different tradition, but a prophet. Is this prophet, is this sorcerer a good guy or a bad guy? And you can try to answer in the comments. I will be happy to see your answers. Is he a good guy or a bad guy? What do you think, Nora?
Good guy.
Good guy. So, if you look at the story, as I narrated the story, skipping a very specific portion of the story, which is the part of the donkey. Have you heard about his donkey? Mm-hmm. The speaking donkey? There's a donkey that actually speaks in this Torah portion, and it's Bilam's donkey. We'll learn a little bit about that in a moment. If you skip that, you probably think that, well, he's a good guy. I'll try to explain why the situation is a bit more nuanced, according to our tradition. The thing and the portion with the donkey. Bilam, as he's in his way to Balak, mistreats his donkey. His donkey sees an angel standing with a sword and goes out of his way, and Bilam hits him again 3 times. The number 3 is a recurrent motif in this Torah portion. We'll talk about that in a moment and what that says about his personality. But let's say first what the rabbis say about Bilam. In Pirkei Avot, chapter 5, verse 19, the rabbis say, anyone who has these 3 things is from the students of Abraham, our father. And anyone who has 3 other things is from the students of Bilam, the evildoer. So the rabbis think that he's an evildoer. One who has a good eye, a humble spirit, and a small appetite is from the students of Abraham, our father. One who has an evil eye, a haughty spirit, and a broad appetite is from the students of Bilam, the evildoer. What difference is there between the students of Abraham, our father, and the students of Bilam, the evildoer? The students of Abraham, our father, eat in this world and possess the next world. As it is stated, Proverbs 8:21, there is what for those that love me to inherit, and their treasuries will I fill. But the students of Bilam, the evildoer, inherit Genom, purgatory, and go down to the pit of destruction, as it is stated in the Psalms. And you, God, will bring them down to the pit of destruction, the people of blood and deceit, they will not live out of their days, which basically means not world to come. And again, the word trust that we spoke about this morning, and I will trust in you. I will believe in you. Now, why are the rabbis bringing this up? The common interpretation, and it's the one that I actually want to share, is that after the first time he checked it, Bilam knew that it wasn't acceptable to curse the Israelites, to curse the Jewish people. He went to sleep, he asked God, God said, they are blessed. That's a status, it doesn't change. There's no option in God's statement for further conversation. However, Bilam tries again and again and again. And on top of that, he actually, by saying, even if you fill a room with money, I won't be able to make it. The rabbis say in a different place that denotes that he actually has a price. He's opening the conversation for a possible price that might be bigger or higher than what they are imagining, but that exists. When what he needed to do and say was to stick to the first statement. So the rabbis say that, well, he's too flexible in his principles and his attachment to God's word. But there's something that our tradition finds even more problematic. And it's found in this portion. But would we ever read it?
Then the Lord opened the ass's mouth, and she said,
This happens after the 3 times that he actually hit the ass.
and she said to Bilam, what have I done to you that you have beaten me these 3 times? Bilam said to the ass, you have made a mockery of me. If I had a sword with me, I'd kill you.
So he's irritated and he's pretty much willing to kill his ass if he had a sword. And then
the ass said to Bilam, look, I am the ass that you have been riding all along until this day. Have I been in the habit of doing thus to you? And he answered, no.
Now, one of the problems that the Torah and the rabbis will place in this situation is how we treat animals. And if the rabbis teach that if you have no compassion when you treat an animal, so you have no compassion, period. And that made me think about, I will tell you who you are by the way in which you treat the waitress that serves you in a restaurant. Maybe in our time, I will tell you who you are by if you are wearing a mask in public spaces. And let's see what the rabbis compare this with.
The Gemara stated that Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's suffering came upon him due to an incident. What was that incident that led to his suffering? The Gemara answers that there was a certain calf that was being led to slaughter. The calf went and hung its head on the corner of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's garment and was weeping. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to it, go, as you were created for this purpose. It was said in heaven, since he was not compassionate toward the calf, let afflictions come upon him.
Just 1 second. We are not just speaking about any other rabbi. We are speaking about Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi is the one who put together the Mishnah, the foundational document for the Talmud, and of course the written version of our oral tradition. He's a great rabbi. He's a very, very important rabbi. The Talmud is telling us even great people has flaws. And in places in which you are apparently not looking at, right? Like, who cares about that animal that was going to be slaughtered anyway? Well, we care. We care. You cannot allow yourself to act without compassion, even in that situation. Let's say what the Gemara says.
The Gemara explains the statement, and left him due to another incident. One day, the maidservant of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was sweeping his house. There were young weasels lying about, and she was in the process of sweeping them out. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi said to her, "Let them be as it is written, the Lord is good to all, and his mercies are over all his works." They said in heaven, "Since he was compassionate, we shall be compassionate on him," and he was relieved of his suffering.
So the second part of the story is a story of redemption. It's a story of Teshuvah. When he have the opportunity to rectify his actions, he does, and therefore he wins heaven's compassion. He's granted compassion. Now to the question of, is Bilam a good or a bad guy? Well, it's a bit nuanced apparently. He's not just a bad guy, and he's definitely not just a good guy. There's one more layer to this story. In my experience, a very interesting one, and it's the fact that God communicates through him, and that we can find God's presence and even prophecy in people that have flaws, in people that we tend to discredit, disregard, ignore, because they might be annoying, because they might have some questionable morals in certain areas. And the story of Bilam is a reminder that there is value in everyone, even when sometimes it's really, really, really complicated to experience that. And even when sometimes people make very, very bad choices, they still have value. They might be even able to carry prophecy. So with this idea, and with the hope that when we look at each other, even when we have sometimes long accounts and bills, we succeed to see the divine spark in each other, and try to take the positive out of each other, and remind ourselves that there is positive in every human being, hopefully in every human being. That's a very deep and longer discussion. And again, one more thing, that we show who we are when we treat our animals, when we treat those that we have power over them, when we treat the people that are serving us, we also share and show who we are. We will continue our service on page 371. We take a moment to acknowledge people dealing with illness in our community. If you have a name that you like to share, please do so in the comments on Facebook or on YouTube. We pray for all those dealing with illness in their bodies, in their souls, those dealing with addictions. רפואה שלמה והחלמה מהירה. We now acknowledge mourners among our community. If you're doing the first 7 days of mourning Shiva, please share with us in the comments. And so if you are doing the cycle of the first 30 days of mourning, and so if you are in the cycle of the first year of mourning, if you are acknowledging a yortzeit this week, the anniversary of death, we invite you to share the comments also the name of the people that you are remembering. On page 598. התגדל בהתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמה דברה חילותי בימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, בחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. יאה שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם בעלמה, באמרו אמן. יאה שלמה רבה מן שמיה, בחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, באמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. עלינו ועל כל ישראל, באמרו אמן. May the memories of your dear ones be a blessing. יהיה זכרם ברוך. This week we started two classes with Rabbi Daniel, one in the best Jewish ideas, and the other one is in Musar. So we encourage you to look at them in our virtual calendar and to join them. I think this is a great space for Torah study and for development. We also send links to connect with the webinars that the Rose Project is doing about the annexation, which is the annexation or Halat Ribonut. How do you say Halat Ribonut? Or the extension of the mandate. Words have ideological weight, so I will just try to be neutral as I express them. But there are conversations going on, and if you want to follow what's happening, we encourage you to listen to the webinars that the Rose Project is organizing here in Orange County, bringing people from all over the world. Gabby is starting a class as soon as she comes back, which is next week. So you can join Gabby's class. It's called the Torah of Music, and it's a class provided by the Adar Institute. So it's very exciting, and Gabby is going to be facilitating that. It's initially meant for the members of our choir, so they will be studying, but it's open to anyone and everyone. So let us know if you want to join. Contact our office. We will be happy to add your name and to provide you with a link in the next couple of days. And I will be starting a class the first week of August. You will be receiving some information. Again, we are using this time to expand our minds, to expand our hearts, to learn Torah, and to build community. We will conclude our service on page 625 with Adon Olam. Noga, do you want to choose a melody?
The same one we made the last few weeks.
Okay, so let's do a different one.
אדון עולם אשר מלך ותן כל יציל נראה לנשא בחפצתו היסי מלך שמו נקרא ויחלק כמעט הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד והנה הוא יהיה בתקווה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית לא העוס והמזרע
ira וניחוחי ובידי אדוני לי ולא יירא. Your hands, I trust my body and spirit, because I know that if you are with me, I shall not fear. May God give us the strength and the courage to embrace the opportunity and the blessing of wholeness and peace, of Shalom. Adonai Osla Mo Iten, Adonai Yevarech et Amo Bashalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Yarai, 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 yarai.